Everyone is sleepless in Seattle when Wheel rolls into town. So put down that cappuccino, pick up that remote, and tune in for supersonic excitement on Wheel of Fortune Seattle Week.
Tonight at 7:30 on KATU Spirit 2.
Meet our local Wheel of Fortune contestants.
Tomorrow at 9.
An American serviceman on the Japanese island of Okinawa pleads guilty to raping a Japanese child. The Federal Aviation Administration and the safety factor in aircraft made overseas but flying here. And why would the state of Texas object to a religious program that helps alcoholics and drug addicts to quit?
From ABC, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. We begin tonight on the Japanese island of Okinawa, where the overall role of the U.S. military has been placed in jeopardy by what 3 American servicemen did to a 12-year-old Japanese girl. 2 Marines and 1 sailor told a Japanese court today, yes, they were all involved in the kidnapping, and 1 at least is a rapist. Here's ABC's Mark Litke.
Japanese police shielded the 3 Americans from photographers as they were led from the jailhouse to the courthouse to face a panel of 3 judges who will decide their fate. There are no juries in Japan. The accused were escorted into the courtroom, hands cuffed, restraining ropes tied around their waists. They displayed no emotions as prosecutors described in methodical detail how the 3 planned the rape, buying condoms in a military store before they stalked and abducted the 12-year-old girl, allegedly raping her in a deserted field. Standing before the judges, Seaman Marcus Gill pleaded guilty to all charges. Marine Privates Kendrick Ledet and Rodrigo Harp admitted to taking part in the abduction, but both denied raping the girl. All 3 are being represented by court-approved Japanese attorneys, though the proceedings are monitored by a U.S. military legal observer, standard here in all cases involving U.S. servicemen.
We safeguard the suspect's rights by attending the trial with an interpreter.
Relatives of the accused are not convinced of that. They held a news conference in Atlanta today expressing fears that their men are being railroaded.
My son is innocent. He says he is, and I believe him. I do not believe he is capable of committing any type of crime whatsoever.
While there have been other rapes, even murders by American troops here, 19 U.S. servicemen are serving time in Japanese prisons. Few cases have generated as much anger and emotion as this one. In recent weeks, Okinawans by the thousands have taken to the streets, calling for the withdrawal of U.S. forces from their island. And those emotions are likely to be further inflamed by statements from the victim and her family, read for the first time today in court. The young girl states she is now filled with fear each time she sees an American soldier, while her father writes that if Japanese law permitted it, he personally would kill the 3 Americans. Despite their pleas today, all 3 defendants will still be tried on all the charges that could bring sentences of 3 years to life in a Japanese prison. Mark Litke, ABC News, Okinawa.
Other news today, there are new questions about the system designed to ensure that airline travel in America is safe. The National Transportation Safety Board has been investigating the crash a year ago of an American Eagle ATR commuter plane in Indiana. All 68 people on board were killed. ABC News has now obtained an early draft of the report on the crash. And here's ABC's Lisa Stark.
Soon after the American Eagle ATR crash, investigators determined the plane went down after ice built up on the wing. In fact, the Federal Aviation Administration knew the ATR had experienced icing problems for years, and the Safety Board's draft report points out how the FAA and the plane's French manufacturer failed to adequately solve the problems. 5 years before the crash, one FAA manager warned of the ATR's apparent inability to carry ice, or at least perform reliably in icing conditions. The memo went on, there has been a perceived reluctance on the part of the manufacturer to accept the fact that there is an icing problem. ATR denies that.
There was never a reluctance on the part of ATR to go to the end to investigate those matters. Safety is the prime concern.
The draft report also indicates that the Safety Board recommended 14 years ago that the FAA upgrade its standards for flying in icing conditions. The FAA refused. Tests after the Indiana crash showed that while the ATR passed all FAA icing standards, it still had control problems in certain conditions, such as freezing rain. The FAA is now reviewing its icing standards. And according to the draft report, there are flaws in the process for certifying foreign-made planes to fly in the United States. The FAA can accept a foreign country's certification of an aircraft without putting the plane through its own full complement of flight tests.
One of the things I'm hoping comes out of this is a willingness by the FAA to be far more aggressive, far faster, when a problem with a foreign-built airplane actually comes to their attention.
In a statement to ABC News, the FAA says it took swift and decisive action to address safety issues after the Indiana crash, including ordering ATR to install expanded de-icing systems on the plane's wings. Since then, there have been no control problems with the plane.
The Safety Board's draft report does not contain any recommendations, but the board is expected to recommend that the FAA not only upgrade its icing standards, but also its process for certifying foreign-made planes. Lisa Stark, ABC News, Washington.
There is another aircraft story in the news today. We learn only today that icing is what caused the crash of an experimental military plane last January. The X-31 had 523 successful test flights. This is what happened on flight 524. The pilot was returning to base when an instrument measuring the plane's speed and altitude iced up, and the pilot lost control. The pilot ejected quickly.
Okay, NASA 1, we have an ejection. We have an ejection.
And for the next 2 minutes, with NASA's cameras rolling, the plane spun and tumbled to its inevitable destruction. When we come back, some of the other news. A new class of AIDS drugs receives an important endorsement. The widow of Prime Minister Rabin points an accusing finger at her husband's political rivals. And the floating mansion that nobody wants to pay for.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by Honda.
Will that be a window or aisle? Sir, window. Aisle seat.
Your final boarding call.
Well, at least you know where to sit when you get home. The Accord Coupe from Honda. Possibly the world's easiest decision.
Nobody does it like you.
The new Hoover Dirt Finder electronically senses deep down embedded dirt. You know it's clean.
Nobody
When the light turns green.
does it like you.
Mothers have learned from countless doctors and pharmacists
Next.
that the way to take care of a cough is with fast, soothing Robitussin. And they've taken this advice home.
Next.
Robitussin, recommended by Dr. Mom.
There has been a seriously important development today in the fight against AIDS. A scientific advisory panel has recommended that the Food and Drug Administration approve a new drug called the most important advance since AZT. Here's ABC's George Strait.
Approval of the new drug called Saquinavir is historic because it's 100 times more powerful than traditional AIDS drugs such as AZT.
We are seeing new classes of drugs for AIDS that are much more active than anything we've ever seen before.
What this drug and others called protease inhibitors do is stop the AIDS virus from multiplying by inhibiting the production of protease, an enzyme in the virus which HIV must have to reproduce. After a few weeks of treatment, the amount of virus in a person's body drops dramatically, potentially enabling their own immune system to take control.
Perhaps at that low level, the immune system might be able to then attack the virus.
And kill off the rest of it there?
Well,
or many?
That will be the hope.
The immediate benefactors of the new drugs are AIDS patients in whom conventional therapy no longer works. Protease inhibitors have very few side effects, but ironically their strength could cause a serious problem: resistance. Typically, the stronger the drug, the faster HIV adapts to resist it.
Certainly the development of resistance is going to be a problem. However, if you can get around that by using a drug in combination, then I think you might have something.
Researchers caution against too much optimism. No one can say if these drugs will prolong the life of an AIDS patient. What scientists can say is what's been approved today is not a cure, but it is the most powerful weapon yet developed against the AIDS virus. George Strait, ABC News, Washington.
The profile of the single mother is changing. The Census Department reports today that those women giving birth out of wedlock, an increasing number have college degrees and careers, and a growing percentage are in their 30s. The author of the study, who is a woman, explained their biological clock is clicking, and they cannot wait to find a suitable man. On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrials lost nearly 17 points to close at 47.97, and the trading was heavy. On the NASDAQ market, stocks lost about 18 points. In Las Vegas today, a reminder of how quickly the new becomes old. 25 years ago, the Landmark Hotel was the tallest and newest in town. This morning, the 31-story Landmark built by the late billionaire Howard Hughes has been eclipsed by even larger and more luxurious hotels. How time flies. When we come back, Israel struggles to find meaning in the murder of its prime minister. We will hear from his widow.
Presto has a great idea. Presto has a great big idea. Professional salad shooter slicer shredder. Big capacity, holds a lot, shoots a lot. Powerful, fast, a variety of cutting blades so you can point and slice thick, slice thin, shred right into the bowl, even ripple cut. Chop, grate right where you want. Clean up easy, dishwasher safe, store anywhere. Salad shooter! Original, professional, and now professional salad shooter plus from Presto.
He is the driving force behind TCI and the architect of a global digital network.
Going rapidly to one world.
A woman in Tulsa will shop in Milan. A father will play with his son an ocean away. Every movie ever made, every word ever written at our fingertips.
Now that's an exciting future.
Where do you find the visionaries leading us into the next millennium? Actually, there's a list of them printed every day. NASDAQ, the stock market for the next 100 years.
If heartburn shows up when you lie down, it may not be just heartburn. It may be something different. Doctors call it acid reflux, and you need something different. You need regular Gaviscon. Only Gaviscon forms a protective barrier that helps keep stomach acid down, where it belongs. Mylanta can't, Pepcid AC can't. Gaviscon is the only medicine you can buy without a prescription that can. So to help stop reflux pain from acting up when you lie down, get Gaviscon. It's different from here all the way to here.
Now, you can save 25% off regular prices on some of Goodyear's most popular passenger performance and light truck tires. Everyday low prices start at only $19.99. Believe it. Just turn up at any participating Goodyear retailer. But hurry, this sale ends soon.
My new denture adhesive is Polygrip Free. One of the reasons why Polygrip Free is so important to me is because it has no artificial flavors or colors. Polygrip Free holds my dentures tight. Makes me feel like I have my real teeth again. Polygrip Free.
Tonight on Nightline, they are abortions of last resort, late term and partial birth. Doctors who perform them would go to jail. Mothers whose lives are in danger could not have them. The debate tonight.
In Israel today, a concerted, though painful, effort to move on. The acting Prime Minister Shimon Peres moved into his new office today saying, "I shall continue the process of peace." And the soul-searching continues, of course, as to whether the political atmosphere in Israel contributed in any way to the assassination. Here's ABC's Bill Rediker.
Israeli police today began looking for anti-government militants who live in this settlement, Jewish extremists who have praised the assassination of Rabin.
The man was an evil man. He deserved what he got, and he got it.
Police also want to question the author of this graffiti. Rabin is a victim of peace, it reads. Peres is next. Peres, the successor to Hitler. Such extremism, say government officials, created the climate that encouraged Rabin's assassin. Tomorrow, there will be a debate by Israeli cabinet ministers over what to do about it.
After the assassination of the prime minister, when we see the implications, the impact upon certain people, certainly there will be a need to do something about it.
Acting Prime Minister Shimon Peres today tried to pick up where Rabin had left off. He met with foreign leaders, unsealed the borders with Gaza and the West Bank, allowed the deployment of more Palestinian police into the town of Jenin, where the Israelis will soon give up control. This country is in for a long debate over what the Rabin murder means. In the square where he was murdered, there were heated arguments today. Should the peace process continue? What should be done about Jewish extremists? And at Rabin's graveside, the children drew pictures of doves. The teenagers sang of peace. The elderly quietly wept. Bill Redeker, ABC News, Jerusalem.
Prime Minister Rabin's wife, Leah, has been very quick to say that above all, she wants her husband's death as well as his life's work to have meaning for the people of the Middle East, and she has been particularly outspoken on what she has called the climate of hatred in which he was killed. Mrs. Rabin talked to Good Morning America's Charles Gibson at her apartment in Tel Aviv.
Who do you blame? Does it go beyond the person who did the shooting?
Yes. The person who did the shooting really doesn't interest me one bit. I mean, someone who can do something like this, that is beyond, it's irrelevant to me to try even to cope with understanding him. But there was a climate that allowed it to happen, a climate of enormous violence, talking violence, speaking violently. Members of Knesset, people on the street, posters that showed Yitzhak Rabin with the head cover of Yasser Arafat, calling him traitor, calling him murderer.
Do you in any way blame the mainstream opposition, the conservatives, the Likud party?
Yes, surely I blame. If you ever heard their speeches at the Knesset, you would understand what I mean. They were very, very violent in their expressions. We are selling the country down the drain. There will be no Israel after this peace agreement. I mean, this was wild.
We couldn't help but notice on television when you had a receiving line and Mr. Netanyahu, the head of the Likud party, came through to pay his respects, that you were very cold, or very reserved.
As cold as I could be, I would have avoided shaking his hand if I could. But I think in situations like this, you better not put on shows and not, tell him right in his face that I don't want to shake your hand. It is too much of an act. So I just shook his hand, but he knew, and we both understood that actually we would have loved to avoid shaking each other's hand.
Does this country come together now for peace, or do you think the divisions worsen?
Not together, but the balance between the supporters of peace and those who oppose it will change. The silent majority was too silent, and it's going to be very loud now.
Leah Rabin, we'll be back in just a moment.
So? He said he wants more control. Oh, boy. Told me he's looking for faster response and more security.
Then he's leaving the firm?
No. He's getting a Cadillac DeVille.
Now DeVille is better than ever because now it has the North Star system and its extraordinary combination of comfort, safety, security, and performance. Nothing else feels like DeVille from Cadillac.
I suppose he'll want a better parking space, too.
It's a great time to be silver because you're over 50 and you haven't lost your edge. Now there's a Centrum made just for you. Centrum Silver for your changing nutritional needs. Centrum Silver. It's a great time to be silver.
What should you do when a simple anti-wrinkle cream is no longer enough? Look for the most advanced products. L'Oreal has created Plenitude Revitalift, double performance anti-wrinkle plus firming care. With Pro-Retinol A, Revitalift reduces the appearance of wrinkles. Your skin will look smoother. With Paralasto, Revitalift increases skin's firmness. You'll see firmer skin. See results in just 1 week. New Plenitude Revitalift from L'Oreal reduces the signs of aging.
This is Emily. She's writing a book report on a PC with an Intel Pentium processor inside. The Pentium processor has the power to make software look, sound, and feel more real. making Emily's homework assignment feel more like a field trip. The Intel Pentium processor.
Hey, here's something delicious that has the flavor of fruit, not fat. A low-fat, chewy granola bar from Nature Valley. It's like finding a candy bar with the flavor of fruit, not fat. Just look here in Nature Valley.
We have put faith and government bureaucracy on the American agenda tonight, and we've done so because in Texas, there is a faith-based program which has been remarkably effective in dealing with alcohol and drug addiction. It does not cost the taxpayers a cent, and you might think that government officials are thoroughly happy with such a state of affairs, but they are not. Our religion correspondent is Peggy Waymeyer.
As the sun comes up over a South Texas cow pasture, a group of men struggling with alcohol and drug addiction meet in this chapel to pray. 4 years ago, Robert Wilson was running with a San Antonio gang, hooked on crack cocaine, and charged with attempted murder. He was shot, almost killed.
And on the way to the hospital, I was like, God, if you let me live through this, I'll go to Teen Challenge.
He fulfilled that pledge after a judge offered him a deal. Jail or Teen Challenge, an unusual drug and alcohol rehabilitation center, which Robert now credits with breaking his drug addiction and turning his life around.
It really made me take a look at my soul, myself, and my relationship with God. And it made me realize that there is a heaven, there is a hell, there's consequences for what I did, and then there's a way that I can be forgiven. And I took it.
And it began to move into your spirit.
Teen Challenge leaders believe they offer the best remedy for drug addiction.
If your Cadillac breaks down, you bring it to the Cadillac dealer. If a person breaks down, they need to go back to God. He created them.
So at 130 Teen Challenge centers across the country, addicts are taught that Jesus Christ, not Prozac or psychiatrists, can help free them from addictions. They study what the Bible has to say about everything from forgiveness to personal responsibility.
It's this, it's that, it's this. It's not my fault.
A recent University of Tennessee study showed that 70% of Teen Challenge graduates were drug-free after 6 months. In Austin, the director of a state-funded rehab center says Texas has no comparable studies, but most of his clients come back. What is the success rate of most government rehab programs?
I would say that they're probably bordering about 25%. That'd be very good.
Despite the fact that Teen Challenge has an impressive track record, the state of Texas is threatening to revoke its license. State authorities have compiled a 49-page list of violations by Teen Challenge, ranging from torn shower curtains to frayed carpet edges. But the state is most concerned about Teen Challenge's staff.
The documentation did not show the presence of licensed chemical dependency counselors. We could not find the proper credentialing.
That's because it's not there. Teen Challenge doesn't want to pay for training they don't even believe in. They use their own reformed addicts as counselors.
They're not giving us federal money. They're not giving us state money. But they're trying to put rules and regulations that would raise our cost up so high that we can't operate.
There's a lot of good evidence to suggest that these religiously based programs work. They work better and they do cost less.
John DiUlio of Princeton University has just released dramatic research which indicates that faith-based groups, from the Salvation Army to 12-step programs, may be the government's most powerful allies in healing the nation's social ills.
Religion is absolutely necessary to solving America's social problems.
Church-state separation prevents government funding of programs like Teen Challenge, but there are those who would change that.
We seek to enlarge the community of care in America.
Senator John Ashcroft of Missouri has written a controversial provision in the Senate's welfare bill which would allow federal funding for a wide variety of religious social service providers.
We don't want to be unable to tap this great resource of faith-based organizations that are having a tremendous benefit when they can work to help people get out of welfare.
While Teen Challenge continues to graduate men using spiritual principles, lawmakers must decide whether the nation's welfare wars are better fought with the church and state as partners. This is Peggy Waymeyer for the American Agenda.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
Which one of these laxatives is gentle on your system? Which one has more overnight laxative medicine? Now, which one offers you 3 different strengths? Easy choice. Today's X-Lax pills.
Presenting Rocky. Pound for pound, he uses more energy than most dogs twice his size. That's why we make Mighty Dog. It has the perfect balance of nutrients he needs. It makes your dog a Mighty Dog.
Finally, great popcorn from your microwave. Presto Power Pop Microwave Multi-Popper. Exclusive power-based concentrates microwaves to pop virtually every kernel. Pop with oil for a buttery flavor. Pop without oil for a healthier, low-fat snack. A 1/3 cup of popcorn, 3 quarts of crunch. Other microwave poppers can't measure up. See? Dishwasher safe, too. Nothing pops like Power Pop. That's why it's endorsed by Orville Redenbacher.
Power Pop puts power in the pop.
From Presto.
This is big, huge.
It's Red Lobster's Lobster Fest.
It's our biggest ever.
Feast on our biggest lobster, the succulent rocktail.
Whoa. People, can you see it?
Dig into our sweetest maintails.
Lobsters everywhere.
For a fresh new taste, there's roasted lobster and garlic shrimp, lobster appetizers, and much more.
I told you it's big.
Lobster Fest.
Lobsters everywhere. We're expecting you. Hurry to Red Lobster tonight.
I'm Steve Dunn. Coming up on Channel 2 News at 6:30, we'll take you behind the glamour and glitz of Wheel of Fortune in the Northwest as locals get their shot at fame. And you may play the lottery, but there's a get-rich-quick lottery scam you need to watch out for at 6:30.
Finally, from us this evening, a lesson in real estate. It is always said that the 3 most important factors in the value of a home are location, location, and location. ABC's Ken Kashiwahara reports from San Francisco that in one case, location is not enough.
For 25 years, it has been a fixture on Sausalito's waterfront, an opulent, unorthodox 4,500 square foot houseboat called the Taj Mahal.
What I wanted to create was a boat that really felt magical.
What owner and real estate developer Bill Harlan created was a $3 million floating palace with marble floors, 4 fireplaces, 2 kitchens, and an elevator that connects 3 levels of living space. From the top, unparalleled views of San Francisco Bay. Below deck, a wine cellar, a master bedroom decorated in black silk from Thailand, a master bath built not by construction workers, but by artists.
An artisan from Italy came over and did all the cutting and laid in these floors.
And in a bit of whimsy, Harlan built secret passages between rooms.
Why did you build this sort of secret door here?
Oh, you know, as kids, you always want to have secret hiding places.
But for 3 years, Harlan has been trying to sell his waterbound creation, deciding his wife and young children need a home with a more solid foundation. He started by asking $2.5 million, but got no takers. He cut the price in half, still no buyers.
This is what you get to see every day.
Finally, this past weekend, Harlan put the boat on the auction block. Minimum bid, $895,000.
896.
Okay, come on in.
894.
Sold. They weren't serious, of course, and those who were failed to qualify financially. So he has vowed to hold an auction a week.
Starting next week, I'm going to lower the hurdle price, $100,000 a week, until we get a buyer.
Harlan won't say how low he'll go, how much money he's willing to lose, but he says living in his magical kingdom for the last 25 years was worth whatever the cost. Ken Kashiwahara, ABC News, Sausalito.
That is our report on World News Tonight. Later on Nightline, the debate over late-term abortions. I'm Peter Jennings. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.
When Bobby and Diane team up to catch a rapist, you gotta take care of yourself.
I take care of myself.
Pet fitness system. Play Megabucks, because $1 million is $1 million. For most people, anyway. It's gonna be big. Yeah, big.
Did you miss the big surprise in last Sunday's paper? It's the Freddy's Toy World Wish Book. 48 pages full of the toys your kids want, with 40 money-saving coupons on the hottest new toys for kids of all ages. Toys that entertain. Toys that let them create and stretch their imagination. and you can enter to win a $1,000 shopping spree. Make sure you look in last Sunday's paper for the Freddy's Toy World Wish Book. The kids will love the toys, and you'll like the low prices.